Hi folks, this is Hina from Vidyara. I am so thrilled to welcome you all to the Vidyara Club, a space where we hang out with professionals and decode everything about regulatory and beyond. Today I have a very special guest with me on this inaugural episode, Dr. Hetal Shah. Dr. Hetal, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, Hina, thank you so much for having me over. I'm very excited about this conversation.
Yeah, my pleasure. I mean, when you accepted my offer to inaugurate this show for me, I was completely over the moon, and I really cannot thank you enough for doing this.
I think the pleasure is all mine. We have always been having a common ground of talking around capacity building and training in the domain, So very excited for what holds further on this discussion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So that's what the theme of this episode is. So before we dive into the nitty-gritties of what we love talking about, why don't I request you to please introduce yourself and your brand, Merit Healthcare Consulting, and what is the vision behind it?
Sure. Thank you so much for this opportunity one more time. And hello, everyone watching us out here. It is a pleasure meeting all of you. I am Dr. Hetal Shah. I am a PhD pharmacologist by training, and I currently work as a subject matter expert in the field of medical writing and clinical research. My work sits at the intersection of regulatory writing, clinical research, scientific communication. And to us at Merit, the tagline is pretty simple. It says writing science right. So we believe in accurate, ethical, and regulatory compliant documentation, and we are also contributing towards the capacity building in the industry through training, mentorship, and our workshops. So that's a brief about me, and thanks once again, Hina.
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, I know I've seen your work, I've been witnessing your work, and it's really encouraging whenever your posts come out, whenever the achievements of anyone from Merit come out. It really feels impressive for the work that you're doing in the industry. So I really want to ask you this, even from my personal experiences and how much I know you professionally, is I'm sure there is some gap that you must have observed when you started off in this industry, especially when you took on as a solopreneur, like how you want to say and how you always like to present yourself as. What is it that you saw when you decided to go independent, when you decided to have your own brand and bridge the kind of gaps that you may see today?
Right. I think the sharpest gap always has been, between academia and industry is academia teaches you concept. It gives you knowledge, while industry demands you to execute them, reliably. So that precisely is the gap. And back then, as you mentioned, when I started, the gap, I would say it wasn't a gap. It was actually, absolutely missing as to what we used to learn as part of our academic curriculum versus how the industry was moving. Like, for instance, if I speak for my started off in clinical trial industry. Back then, as part of the academia, we only used to learn theory about, all phases of clinical trials or how drug development and research happens. But the moment you get into the industry, you realize that transpires into actual, operations, which is a lot of accountability, a lot of reliability. So, somewhere, for example, in the field that all of us deal with, whether it is regulatory or whether it is, research overall, in the healthcare space, it is always about, knowing the guideline versus seeing how the guideline transpires into real-time projects. So that is the gap which always remains. And back then, I felt the only thing I wish would have been different was availability of trainings. Now looking at it now in the hindsight, I feel we did not have so many opportunities to upskill ourselves while we were studying. Had it been the case with current situation, if we take, we have a lot of options of upskilling ourselves while we are still in our academic careers. So that's one gap I felt when I got started.
Yeah. And I can definitely vouch for your passion for trainings and how much you love talking about trainings and effective trainings and breaking that traditional barriers as to, you as a trainer would not want to go for one day and then disconnect with the learners. You're someone who likes to keep in touch. You're someone who likes to feel that, you want to motivate them, you want to encourage them, and you want to kind of, keep building and keep learning yourself through different perspectives. So I think, I think being in the training industry, we have to be an avid learner before we call ourselves trainers. And I think that's something that comes in your personality.
Yeah. On a lighter said, if you want to learn something well, start teaching it,
Yeah.
So probably
that's the other side
also
of it.
be an element of that. In order to excel in your current skills, if you would have started training, probably what I would have maybe done unconsciously could have helped in the way I have progressed as a professional also.
Right. And that passion still continues through the work that you do today.
Absolutely.
Well, that's impressive. Awesome. So I think you spoke greatly about fundamentals and lack of information that you had when you started off versus being in the AI era today, where we have everything accessible, everything quickly available at our fingertips. You ask something to public LLM and they will give you tons of information, something that you don't even need, right? So there is always that extra layer of information, something that you've not asked for. So do you think that fundamentals still hold the same significance as it did before when we did not have Gemini or ChatGPT? And how do you see that angle today? And how do you see the value that a professional trainer can bring in versus somebody just asking ChatGPT or Gemini?
Right. I'm so glad we are having this conversation and you are asking this particular question, because I have been speaking this more often, formally, informally to colleagues and professionals around. I think fundamentals matter now more than ever, if I can say that, because fundamentals, as it means, are basic, and basic foundational blocks, your building blocks are basic, you cannot do without them. The beauty about fundamentals is they travel with you no matter what roles you grow into, what organizations, geography, or what kind of domain you are or you develop into. Fundamentals will remain with you. And you rightly pointed out, now we are spoiled for the data. We have, AI has democratized all the data available. Sometimes speed is misunderstood as capability. If someone or a tool is able to generate something, with speed, does not necessarily mean it is accurate or it is ethical or it is compliant or it is fit for purpose. And that's where fundamentals would matter. To me, as professionals, if you have strong fundamentals, you would not just be preparing documents, you would not just be gathering content, you will be thinking, you will be questioning, you will be assessing the risk. In that process, what you're actually doing is you are building your capability of judgment. And in times that are coming, I'm so looking forward to AI to accelerate the mundane task for us. And that's where human judgment would be of a lot of matter to us.
Right. Yeah. So you were saying that it's actually the reverse thinking than what most people would think, It's like you use the AI as the collaborator, but have your own unique flavor as a human being and do not completely rely on it. Definitely not blindly, do not overdo it, and do not ignore the fundamentals. Is that what your message would be?
Absolutely. At this point in time, in the entire process, somewhere we have started, diluting the importance of fundamentals. So
Yeah.
I want to take this opportunity to mention that fundamentals are non-negotiable. No
Yeah.
matter how much AI evolves, right now AI may be doing only X number of tasks, and we are hopeful that AI also evolves to have a more matured, outputs and systems. But the accountability, the judgment that humans offer as professionals is going to
Right.
stay. So for me, a person with amazing fundamentals using AI versus someone who is just using AI, the way you will look at your own outputs, the way you will critic your own,
Yeah.
your own work would be very different. So this
Right.
is the time to gather more fundamental values, more fundamental understanding, so that you can use AI much better than anyone else.
Right. Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely a great insight, and we can only hope that everyone, takes home this message and takes it positively, that we are not cribbing that AI is here. I mean, I talk to many
Absolutely.
professionals wherein they worry that AI is going to take away our jobs. So then I would be like, why don't we keep doing what we are doing? It's just that we are going to be doing the same thing differently by collaborating with AI, but it's not that AI is going to take our jobs at the end of the day.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And
And
where
I
do
think
you
that's
see
where
this?
one professional, would be differentiated from another. How good you are able to collaborate with AI,
Right.
how well you are able to use AI to your own benefit. And
Right.
at the end of the day, the accountability would still lie with, the human using the AI.
Correct.
So that's
Yeah.
where, we should, as professionals, look forward to.
Right. Yeah. So it's like training yourself for the skills that you will need to collaborate with AI, but then at the same time retaining your unique flavor for what you do in your day-to-day work activities. And that's where I want to go to our
Absolutely.
next segment, which is importance of training. I mean, we both love
Hmm.
trainings and we both very passionately talk about it all the time. Where do you
Yeah.
see trainers' importance fitting in? From my personal experiences, when I am giving any trainings, when I'm in any professional settings, and when learners are sitting in workshops, and when you give them anything to work on, they will immediately go to
Hmm.
Gemini and they will, start prompting
Right.
right away, and they will give you something very raw. They feel that they have done it because they presented
Hmm.
with something in front of others, but then as trainers, we know that probably that's insufficient, or they are lacking the fundamentals, and they are probably relying too blindly on the use of it. And at the end of the day, when we speak with organizations, sometimes they kind of overlook this whole professional training experiences
Hmm.
and the values that human can bring in versus
Correct.
just putting something in form of a prompt.
Yeah, I think the points you raised are, pretty valid. And I would say they again go back to the same concept of fundamentals. So
Mm.
if someone is not clear on fundamentals, whatever is generated, for example, whatever comes to you in terms of AI outputs, for instance, you would want to take it as good. But if you have
Yeah.
your fundamentals clear, you would have the capability of judging, criticizing, evaluating, or considering the risk or the benefits behind that particular output. So when trainings, fundamental has a very funny thing, while we say fundamentals, it is not just about knowing the fundamentals. So if I say I read a guideline or I know a guideline, automatically it does not transpire into how that guideline will be applied in your real life project, or when timelines are delayed, or when your regulators reject your narratives.
Yeah.
So knowing one thing is not just fundamental, and that's precisely where external trainings or intentional trainings come into picture.
Right.
It's like knowing, doing, and owning it. So what you come with is terms of theory. You can say, I know my guideline. It is knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
A training which is intentionally, designed for you to convert that knowledge into how you are going to do it. So that's
Yeah.
where it starts converting it to doing. And once you start doing it, that's where the accountability, the owning bit of it will come into picture.
Right.
So I feel intentional trainings, especially by organizations as well as by individuals, should be looked at it as a bridging, as a bridge
Yeah.
to, you're a bridge from knowing to doing to owning
Yeah.
what you're doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really deep. So there is a long process involved. It's not just asking Gemini or ChatGPT, hey, this is
Absolutely.
something my manager has asked me, so can you do this for me? So that's definitely something as a red flag. And us being professional trainers and us being in this industry and knowing that this is one of the threats that could come to especially young professionals. So
Right.
this is something that everyone should avoid, right? And rely on
Yes.
somebody who has done it before you. Rely on
Yes.
someone else's professional experiences and not just go for the information
Right,
blindly.
absolutely. So as I said again, fundamental, there are two funny things about fundamental. One is knowing something is not fundamental, and another is
Yeah.
getting exposure is also not only fundamental. You still need a mentored training and exposure
Right.
to real world cases, a discussion, someone who's telling you where they went wrong, how they corrected it, and that's
Right.
exactly where trainings and trainers and workshops come into picture. So you're right, and we should in fact use AI to the benefit of, say, drafting or collecting or
Yeah.
doing all the amazing things that is already doing. But when it comes to judging, when it comes
Yeah.
to critically evaluating the accuracy, especially the ethics and the compliance in the field that we are working, that's where your fundamentals would come into picture. So know your basics. I would
Yeah.
repeat this, fundamentals are going to be non-negotiable.
Yeah. And I think that's wonderful, because I was going to ask you to give us a take-home message, especially keeping in mind the students and younger generations and those who are just entering the industry, and give them a take-home message and a single liner. But I think you already spoke about it. It is non-negotiable to train hard, to know the fundamentals, to clear up the basics, and like you said, combining it with industry exposure. So you need to know the theory, but then you need to have practice in place, and the LLMs are definitely not going to cut it.
Yes. And I think I would also like to mention, when you're looking out for trainings and trainers, like for instance, as an organization, you might be looking for training your in-house teams, or as an individual, you might be looking at upskilling your own self. You need to look out for the right balance in the elements that you need to choose, for your trainings. For instance, the first and foremost is the trainer himself or herself. Rather than going with banners and looking for just organizations or entities that claim to be training institutes, when it comes to things like training, teaching, or learning, it boils down to the person you are facing. So look at the experience, the exposure the person is bringing, the trainer herself or himself is bringing, in terms of first-hand experience in the field, the real life cases, so on and so forth. Second is the ability of the trainer to convert that into a simple manner so that the learner can understand it.
Right.
So those are the qualities of the trainer only. First of all, you should evaluate before just taking trainings for the namesake of just getting your certifications done or a tick mark job done,
Yeah.
Third is my most favorite is look for trainings that have real life cases, have practical aspects to it, exercises or assignments or classroom quizzes or even virtual discussions, look for that practical aspect into it. And
Right.
fourth is apply that training. Before and after the training, evaluate yourself as to how it made a difference or what gap has it addressed for you. So most of the times as organizations or individuals, we tend to get tempted to the tick mark of it, to the
Mhm.
certification of it, which is also of value. But that
Yeah.
has to be a byproduct of the gap that you are trying to address, not the primary reason for taking up a training. So be very choosy about whom you are getting trained with, if I
Yes.
can say, where you are
Yes.
getting trained with, and
Yeah.
what is the gap that you are filling for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we can speak for whole another episode just on how to choose your trainers correctly, because I can really feel
Absolutely.
that in your voice and how much you feel connected with that topic. But yeah, I think thank you so much for bringing that up. I think it's another essential when you're planning for trainings, especially for organizations and enterprises when they want to train, the whole new batch
Yeah.
for different functions and departments. But yeah, I think
Absolutely.
we can definitely keep talking about this all day long, I'm sure. But we are going to kind of end this here. And I definitely want to thank you once again for doing this segment with me. I'm sure this is not the last time, and this is only the beginning with you and unfolding more and more with your work and the passion and the kind of experiences that you bring into the industry. So thank you so much, Dr. Hetal. It's been wonderful speaking with you. Anything that you would like to say in the end to conclude, to pass on the message to the community?
Yes, no, I think this was very interesting, and thank you for, providing this platform, Hina. I always wish to end any of the conversation with the idea that all of us should retain with us, whether it is a training or a learning or a project or a submission or whatever you are doing. At
Yeah.
the end of it, there's always a patient who is waiting for a safe, effective, and trustworthy healthcare. So always
Yes.
keep that in mind, and that's where our fundamentals, every bit of what we do in this industry matters. So, with that, I wish you and everyone listening to us today all the very best. Have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Hetal. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. See you next time.